So this is my vlog 84, and I try to do at least 45 minutes because making about an hour takes lots of efforts, or at least my brain thinks that was enough for a week and I don't continue with it during the next week. But my current goal is to make the one video today about 30 to 45 minutes and then another video tomorrow. So if I can do 2 videos a weekend, then I'll do 10 videos, 8 videos during a month, and I'll definitely reach my purpose of 100 videos in 2 months. And right now I'll continue to go with this children's encyclopedia. I followed it for some time. Now I switched to other stuff, but anyway, I'll go for it. So again, the encyclopedia is quite simple, so I'll just look at some pictures which are here, and I'll comment with my current knowledge of English on these pictures. Let's go. So fractions, and we have this. Okay, fractions is the mathematical notation which comes from the arithmetic, and I don't remember correctly. Maybe I learned it when I was at the 4th grade, something like that. Maybe at the 3rd grade. Anyway, fractions show this ratio of a part to the whole something. And usually the thing is divided into some integer number of parts, and then 1, 2, 3 or so forth parts are taken, and this ratio of the taken parts to the whole number of the parts is called a fraction. So there are these fractions like a half, when one half is 1/2, so 1 seconds maybe. So 1/3, when one part is taken from 3 equal parts. When something is divided into 3 parts and then 1 part is taken, or we can say, I think, I'm not sure about whether I'm right with the pronunciation, but we have 1/8 when we take 1 part from 8 parts, but we can say maybe 2/3 or 1/4, 2/4. It will be equal to 1 second, and then we can take 3/4, and then 1/5, and so on. And okay, yeah, there are the special names for this parts of this fraction, like the thing above the delimiter line is called some way like numerator, and the thing below this delimiter line is called denominator. And there are decimals which represented like 0 point and some decimal number which corresponds to this fraction, which is written usually like something over something. Okay, let's go forward. And just to do the mathematical operations over the fractions, as I learned at school, we need to using the rules of the rules of arithmetic, like multiplications and other stuff, we should make the denominators of two fractions equal, and then we can operate over the numerators of these two fractions, and in the end we can kind of maybe simplify this fraction by dividing the numerator and the denominator by some particular number if both of these numbers are divisible by this number. So another article is about friction. Friction is the physical force which it's a force which prevents sliding one object over the surface of the other object, and the less the friction, the easier this slipping process, and maybe and vice versa, or maybe let's say vice versa. The more the friction is, the harder this slipping process is. So on this picture we have this example of the guy sliding from the slope of the mountain covered with the snow using the skis. So because the surface of the ski is quite smooth, and sometimes it is covered with special materials which help which prevent the snow from sticking to the surface of the ski, then the friction is small, and that's why the skis move quickly along the snow. But the guy with special boots with rubber soles can easily walk on this slope without sliding, because sliding, another word for slipping in the terms of like slipped on the smooth floor. Anyway, because the friction between the rubber soles and the snow is quite high, then there is no this slipping, and the guy wearing this type of boots can almost walk on this slope the way he walks on the asphalt, for example. And the friction force always the vector which notes the vector which notes the friction force always directs opposite the movement of the object along the surface. Another picture shows that if we rub to our palms quickly for some time against each other, because of the friction between our palms, the skin of our palms become warm, and usually this this process is used before the palming technique, which when we put the palms on our eyes to give them this warmth and make them relax. Okay, another article is about gases. So gases. Okay, there is a big yellow balloon on the picture, and inside this balloon there are molecules of the gas, usually these types of balloons are filled with helium, and because helium is the molecules of helium gas create some pressure over create some pressure over the surface of the balloon from outside. That's why this balloon has this form, like something like not very perfect sphere, and because some characteristics that this helium gas is lighter than the ordinary air outside this balloon. Outside this balloon, the balloon feels maybe. Okay, this balloon is affected by this force, Archimedes force, which pushes the balloon up to up. Yeah. That's why the balloon filled with helium tries to move up, and sometimes it is stopped by the ceiling. Sometimes it just flow in the air somewhere high. Another example is blowing soap bubbles. Yeah, there was some explanation, again I don't remember it, but something like when some air is trapped inside. Yeah, right. The air which surrounds us is trapped inside this soap bubble, and because of this air molecules, the soap bubble is usually has the shape of sphere, because these molecules press over the bubble surface from all the directions from outside. But because the air inside the balloon, inside the soap bubble, has the same weight as the surrounding air, plus the molecules of the soap bubble have the weight which is again heavier than the surrounding air, those balloons, those soap bubbles tend to go to lower to the surface of the to the floor, for example, because they are affected by the gravitation force. Unless they are blown in the open air, then the wind can take them away till they blow up. And fizzy drinks, which is another type of drinks. This still drink is just an ordinary drink, or there are these mineral still drinks which have useful elements inside them, but they don't have any air inside them, so usually you drink them and you can distinguish the distinguish it from the ordinary water only by taste. But when such mineral water kind of is mixed with the special gases, then this water is known as sparkling water or fizzy drinks, and when you drink it, you have the additional feeling from this gas dissolved in it, but creating the bubbles. And when you drink these bubbles of air, of special air, it gives you some additional feelings. And according to some diagram, the air around us consists of several whatever it is elements. The first one is nitrogen, which occupies 78% of air, of the volume of air, and another one is oxygen, 21%, and 1% of the air around us is occupied by any other gases like carbon dioxide and other gases. Next, we switch towards genes. Genes are special information. Okay, DNA, I can't give the full version of this name. I just know the abbreviation DNA. So in the 20th century, the scientists discovered this DNA stuff inside our body, and this DNA is like special encrypted code which goes in and it's encrypted in our genes, I think, and these genes goes from the parents, from the mother and from the father into the children, and these genes have the information about the color of the hair, the color of the skin, the form of the face, and the color of the eyes and other stuff. And when these genes combine, then a new appearance of a child is created. Okay, and usually the child gets the part of his genes from the father and another part of them from his mother, but there was one experiment, maybe the first experiment, when Dolly the sheep was created from only one part of these genes taken from, let's say, her mother, and it was artificial growing of the genes, but anyway, the sheep seemed to be quite alright, though it was born this artificial way. Then we have the article about water, the story of water. The planet Earth is covered with water. Okay, about 97% of water on the surface of Earth is salty. It is in the seas and in the oceans. We can't drink it. And only 3% of water is available for drinking. The molecule of water consists of 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen, H2O. The power of the running water is used to create electricity when they build these hydroelectric dams and the water rotates special turbines in these dams. Then the electricity is produced, and this electricity goes to the cities and to our flats and to the factories and so on. Okay, so some very strange stuff about Mesopotamia between the Tigris and Euphrates, two rivers. And yeah, those rivers flooded during the air, and then after the flood went away, there were lots of these weeds which were very useful to grow the crops in this soil. That's why the first civilization appeared in this area between the Tigris and Euphrates. Again, water gives the ability to create these water sports like swimming or swimming in different boats and so on. And of course, the water produces the water is the main building material for the snow. So building a snowman is using the water for your entertainment. Next we go to gravity. Gravity is the invisible power that attracts everything on Earth towards the surface of Earth. Otherwise, the objects just flew away from the surface of Earth, and the moon, which rotates around the Earth, is attracted by this gravity force to Earth as well. And gravity was discovered by Newton when he observed the fall of the apple from the apple tree, and he had this idea about some force which attracts the apple to the earth, and so on. That's why, and I remember this example from the physics textbook at school. when the guy jumps from the plane, the parachute man, I don't know. First, he accelerates towards the surface of Earth because of this gravity force, but at some point, the friction of the air around him, the force which is created by this friction of the air, becomes equal to the force of the pulling towards the surface of the Earth. So for some time he moves with the constant speed, according to the first law of Newton. When object is affected by when the sum of all the forces, the sum of all vectors applied to the object is equal to 0, then the object stays at this state forever, and there are two options for the state. Either this object doesn't move, immovable, or motionable. Okay, either this object doesn't move, or it moves in one particular direction with the same speed, and this free fall from the plane is the example of this second option. Okay, now we move forward towards hearing. Hearing is the ability of a person to hear sounds which are produced by different objects around us and which are transmitted through the waves in the air, by creating the areas where the pressure, where the maybe density of different air molecules is greater and then is less than around. So this is how the waves in the air are created, and these waves reach our ears, and then this waves of air go inside of our ear and reach some eardrum, and then somehow our brain translates these vibrations into the bits of information, and we understand some sounds or even words, music, and so on. So what else? Okay. So again, we have another article about heart. The heart pumps the blood over our body. I don't really know this particular stuff. Like, there are two cycles of through which the blood goes in our body. The first cycle kind of from the small cycle from the heart and then to the lungs, and then the large cycle from this lungs, I think, through the heart to the periphery of the body through all the arteries, and then this blood enriched by oxygen from the lungs, it reaches the skin and every organ in our body, and this blood carries the useful nutrients, but the same blood takes away the waste from the cells in our body and the carbon dioxide, and when this blood travels back through the veins and then through the blood, and it goes by the lungs, this carbon dioxide is released into the lungs, and then we inhale this carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and we inhale new air rich with the oxygen, and the whole process continues. So arteries are the blood vessels through which the blood goes, through which the blood enriched with the oxygen goes from the heart to the periphery of our body. And veins and the arteries are usually depicted as red vessels. So the blue vessels are the veins through which the blood, which carries the carbon dioxide, moves towards the lungs and releases this carbon dioxide. And the human body in general, it has lots of systems, so I'll just read the names of the systems, and I'll try to explain them using my own knowledge. So respiratory system is used for inhaling and exhaling air enriched with oxygen and filled with carbon dioxide, and it consists of like the nose and the mouth and this esophagus and tracheas and the lungs themselves. Nervous system connects all the nerves, all the cells in our body through nerves to the brain, so we can feel everything. So the brain kind of gets the information from the skin, from the cells in our body, and it interprets this information and gives different commands to our organs or our body. Circular system consists of the blood, the heart, and the blood vessels like arteries and veins through which the blood goes, enriched with the oxygen and then full of carbon dioxide. Digestive system consists of the organs from the esophagus and the stomach and the small large intestine and some other organs like liver, which help to digest the food and the water we get in our, and even kidneys, I think, goes there. Kidneys go there, and this system helps us to digest the food, get the useful nutrients, and then to dispose of the wastes which are created from the food, the stuff we can't digest. Urinary system is the system which in control of this water cycle, or not in control of water cycle, but in control of disposing of the water which is not used anymore, like kidneys and the bladder and the canals, which help us to remove the wasted elements, particles in the form of urine from our body. Muscular system is the system of these tissues which connects to our bones and which move our arms and legs and everything, even the muscles in our eyes, and all this stuff helps us to move in the world around. Skeletal system consists of all the bones in our body. There are 206 bones in the body of the adult. The bones held our body the way we are, and of course some of them protect our inner organs, for example, like ribs protect our heart and our lungs, and the skull protects our brain from different damages. And finally, skin and hair system. The skin is the organ that covers the whole body, and it waterproof, and it contacts with everything around us. And hair, like hair on our head, hair along our body, helps us to maybe release sweat, and again helps us to get the information from, helps us to interact with the surrounding world and get the information from the surroundings. An interesting thing that they showed 6 basic elements which construct our body, like for example water is included in blood and cells, and sodium chloride, which is written like NaCl, not sodium chloride, which is standard salt, is inside our body as well. Then the body consists of carbon, which so the body consists of carbon and calcium. Bones consist of calcium, and carbon is the element which is basic element for every organic cells. Iron, there is iron in the body, and phosphorus as well. So let's go forward, and we have another article, one of the last articles for today. This article will be about, let me see. Life cycle. I don't like it very much, but it is what it is. So that's an interesting thing, that sperm cells and egg cells combine together, and they give the beginning of kind of a new life, then a baby born. Then when the baby can walk, it is considered to be a toddler, and then it changes into a child and into a teenager, and finally into adult, and these adults can produce a new baby again. So this is the life cycle, the way it goes. And another interesting stuff, which is light, and Newton showed that when the light, which is a white light, falls on the prism, and it is bent by going into the prism and then again out of the prism, then through this through its qualities and through this angle of bending, we can see that light consists of seven colors, the way the rainbow exists in the sky after the rain. The light produces shadow, which are the areas which prevent the light to prevent the light to light the area behind them. Light creates reflections in the still water or in the mirrors, and of course there are different sources of light. Like natural light comes from the sun or from the stars at night, or a candle or a light bulbs in our flats are considered to be artificial lights because they don't exist in the world, and they are produced at special factories. And some fish that lives far deep under the surface of the sea, they can produce this light to attract other fish and eat it. And we have these liquids. Liquids are the special substances which, when the molecules can move against each other but can't go far the way the molecules in air go. So liquid can feel the form of the vessel in which it is put, the way the air does, but it can't keep the same shape as solids do. And the liquid have a special ability to dissolve some elements. For example, if we put some salt inside the water, it will dissolve the sugar in the tea. And of course, water is this example of liquid. And finally, I think it will be the last article for today. It's about lungs, and I described a little bit of lungs when I talked about the respiratory system, but here we have all the elements of this, like nose and mouth through which we can inhale and exhale water, and this tube, trachea, through which is covered by the special valve, so that the food that which we swallowed doesn't go into this trachea. And then one trachea is divided into two large bronchi, and then this bronchi goes into the lungs, and they are divided into bronchioles. And then finally, these bronchioles end with air sacs or alveoli, and this is where, through some diffusion or some physical process, the oxygen goes into the blood, which carries it towards all the cells in the body, and the carbon dioxide moves from the blood into this air sacs, and then we exhale it into the air. And another element of the respiratory system is a diaphragm, which is a muscle which helps us to change the volume of our lungs when we inhale or exhale, as the muscles of our ribs. And what else? And yeah, according to this picture, the process of breathing is when the diaphragm goes down and the muscles of the rib cage enlarge the volume of the lungs, we inhale. And when these all muscles contract and decrease the volume of the lungs and the diaphragm goes up, then we exhale. And this process is regulated. First, it's regulated by our brain, but then the body works automatically on it. And another part of the article is something like voice box. I don't remember what is it in Russian, that's why I can't really give the definition of the stuff in English, but this is the stuff that helps us to okay, it helps us speak and sing, and this is the stuff, I think the valve that protects our trachea from getting the food when we swallow it, and it makes us cough when some food gets into this trachea. And I think this is all with today's talking, because for some reason maybe I talk too much or something else, but it's really hard to talk to me, and I need to give the rest for for my throat. And it's kind of symbolic that I stopped talking with the article about the lungs and about the voice features, and I stopped my vlog because I put too much strain on my voice right now, and I need to give it a rest. So this is the end for today's vlog 8084.